Greetings everybody, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Unstable 1.6, Episode 7, Buildings Cropping Up Left and Right. As you can see above my heads, we are going to continue the project of building workshops. And I wanted to take advantage of like individual areas. So we have our smithy. Probably smithy and smelting should be together. A hand tailor bench. Maybe we'll put machining in there. And we're sort of clustering the workshops together. Because why not? Because now there's a game mechanic, of course, where buildings want to be in a certain designated room. So the optimal room, for instance, for a research bench is the laboratory. And if there's other things in there other than the laboratory, it suffers efficiency. So we're working with that in mind. All right. If you guys, so I'm going to do a little bit more workshopping. Trying to get more workshops in and around our lovely structure here. So I was going to put another like workshop roughly of the same size here. And then a fabrication workshop down here, which will be larger. And let's put the doors in there. There we go. And we'll get this set up. And then afterwards, we can take on more tasks. Figure out how we want to proceed. Now, I am currently researching machining into getting prosthetics so that Lisk can have something better than a peg leg. And I believe we voted on that last stream, if I am not mistaken. But even if we didn't, I think it's pretty obvious that that's the route to take. So we've got granite walls and slate tile flooring. Let's continue that pattern. Which means a lot of like stone cutting. So another thing to potentially do is to introduce a proper stone cutting workshop as well. Or put that somewhere in the workshops. So that we can do that without the outdoor penalties that we're dealing with now. And a little reminder, of course, Dopey is a 16-year-old who is a creep joiner who's got the ability of turning things from steel into something else. Ooh, a bulkage trader. Oh, they're settling right where my storehouse will be. That's fun. Well, in the morning, we'll have Rayvat go talk to them. And, let's see. We are going to want... How much granite do we have right now? We've got a lot of granite, so we need to mostly cut slate for the next flooring project. So let's go ahead and queue up slate to be hauled. And Steel Boot here, our dog, will be able to haul the slate to the stockpile. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the unfertilized duck eggs. Don't really need them. The random leathers. Bear leathers. Actually, bear skin's kind of nice to have, I suppose. One thing I wanted to do is... Maybe I'll buy the medicine, only because we don't have a lot of medicine, and I need to start sewing it in higher volumes. But obviously, until we do, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to sell the intro... Well, actually, all of the books are adding our research speed because of the library that we have, so maybe keeping them makes more sense. But in order to cover cost, I think what I'll do is I'll sell some food, knowing that we can always sew it back. It's not a big deal to just, like, keep the farms going, right? So here in the cotton field, this is going to be heel root field. And Lisk, once Lisk is done with his anesthesia confusion, should be able to tend to that. And then I can always use the southern half of the fields for other materials. Sweet. That's a good steel boot. Hauling our medicine. Alright. Lisk is also the cook. So Lisk has like a lot of work to do. I really hope that Lisk recovers soon. I'm surprised you're still in a mental state. But that happens when you know, get your leg torn off and go for an emergency surgery. There we go. So Lisk is no longer confused. Perfect. Now, one thing we do not have, which I am eager to try to introduce into the base sooner or later, is someone that has an actually decent crafting skill. That is something that we are critically missing. And we have the mech band here, the transponder, to be used once we have someone that can actually like make use of it. Which, yeah, I don't know when that will be, but I hope it's soon. Alright, our current power usage, we don't have a lot of grid excess, so I think it's also probably a smart idea at this point to, there, machining is done, so let's get prosthetics, to get an additional water mill Jenny up to make sure that we have the power flowing. Daydora and David, thank you for the resubs, and Klein too, and Radlocker with the cheer, Arcane Fennec for the cheer, K386, Rise It. Cheers to all you guys, and sorry I missed that during the recap and all. Alright, there we go. The trees are out of the way. The compound is getting pretty filthy. Maybe I'll get like a bound clean sweeper. I think I probably want to move away from the wood fire generator, even if we have like a sudden need for food, or for power. Oh, Rayback and Lisk are getting married. Okay. Dope, you coming? Okay, well, wedding bells. That went pretty quick. I mean, we've been here for 43 days. In-game, that would be like 9 months. Is this a shotgun wedding? Is Liz secretly pregnant? Well, that should help with mood. Nothing like attending a wedding with low expectations. God, they know me so well. Oh, Lord. Okay. Things looking pretty good. Pretty good here in our tiny little neighborhood. Ceremony is finished. Lisk immediately goes to sleep. One of those types of weddings, huh? Yep. Sometimes it be like that. Not speaking from experience, of course. Hey, Scorpio, thanks for all the gifted subs. And I love seeing a lot of familiar names in the in the sub feed there. Perhaps we'll have another joiner soon, and all of you new subs will have the chance to win a pawn in a series. What is this stockpile zone? Oh, this was for the ducks. Yeah, I can get rid of that now. We I forgot to mention, we also were hosting ducks. Now that we're not hosting ducks anymore, I don't really need the duck fence. I don't need... I'll leave the pen marker here, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, getting our meals in. Lovely. And yeah, mood is like an all-time high right now, which is great. Best constructor would be Rayback. So Rayback, I would like you to get the watermill generator because we do have some power shortages, and solving that would be awesome. Oh, Louie, thank you for the cheer. Everyone knows that the raffle is rigged? Yeah. There's a certain subset of people that just like win a lot of raffles. Now, granted, if you show up to all the streams and you're a sub who chats, inevitably, you're gonna like win a bunch of raffles. That's just how it is. But some people seem to win more frequently than others. As far I haven't actually done like science about whether Nightbot, the bot I use, has some sort of like unfair rigging mechanic. As far as I know, it doesn't. But it certainly feels like that at times. Which is exactly why I have a rigged emote. Alright, Rivek, I don't feel like you built the thing I said please build. So, the other issue is we are... So there are regular components that are mineable, but I don't want to necessarily exhaust all of our mineable components until we have fabrication up. There we go. Now we have plenty of grid excess, and we won't be running into any like shortages that I know about. I like how they're playing Horseshoe Pin throwing over a generator. Oh, and apparently that generator was, yeah, okay, it was a crucial piece of our infrastructure. Nothing like having conduit act as like the linchpin of your power grid. Or a generator, rather. Linchpin of your power grid. Lagartha, thank you for the resub too. Welcome, and cheers. So, after I research prosthetics, which is literally in 1 second, what do you want to research next? So, here are the options. We have sterile tiles, or sterile materials, I should say. Devil Strand, if you want to grow better. We have xenogenetics, in case you want to go into the gene bank type stuff. We have a tube television if you want a wider variety of recreation. We've got pack meals if you think we're going to be caravanning soon. We've got gunsmithing if you want us to be able to start making guns. We've got a multi-analyzer if you want to advance our level of technology towards fabrication. And then last but not least, I'll include shields, because Dopey is a brawler and could benefit from a shield. So, polls above my head, and you guys can vote on next research. Are there new genes in the update? Sort of, yeah. So there are some genes that got refactored in the update. Mostly around undergrounder and like living in tight quarters. I think to accommodate for the fact that spaceships are going to be kind of like small and tight. That's why bedroom sizes were refactored as well. People are happier with smaller bedrooms because living on a spaceship, spaceships are going to effectively be pretty small. They're not going to be expansive like a colony might be. So people are more comfortable living in tight quarters as a result. This is an update that obviously correlates to spaceships, I think. One might assume. Yeah, Unstable has 2 new genes, Web Phalanges, which has negative manipulation for no movement loss, and the other is, I think, the dirt mole. There's a refactored dirt mole gene for... I don't know, if I don't have access to a dirt mole, I don't think I could show you at the moment, but I believe that to be the case. Like Cave Dweller, something like that, yeah. Here, let me just pause for a second and dev mode in something. Spawn, pawn, dirt, colonist. I don't think there's a dirt mole in here. You. Let's see, gene, add gene, endogene, cave dweller. So, it is the indoor dweller gene. That is the new one. disables the need for outdoors. That's what I was trying to think of. Alright. Back to gameplay. Hope that answers your question. More or less like an undergrounder. Looks like we're going to be researching multi-analyzer. I've already have that queued up. So, Stochastic or Frostalban. What name do you want between those? And also, Kilgore, thanks for the gifted subs. And, Life for the resub. I didn't mean to ignore you. I'm just, my brain is scattered, I guess. I feel like I should have been hearing these and haven't been. And that's on me. I'm going to move the stonecutter in with the tailor. It's kind of a bad combination, but like whatever. So that it's a little bit easier to cut quickly. Because we have a lot of project needs for stone. But the workshops are coming together. And the question I have for you guys is what to build next? So, I could build a stockroom pile. Like an actual stockroom, because our current stockroom is not a permanent edifice. We could build bedrooms. I could improve the defenses. I could continue to build workshops, or viewer suggestions. What's attacking what? After I got jumped by a... Okay, it's a wolf. After I got jumped by the lynx, I'm a little paranoid and on edge, if you will. I think understandably. Being murdered by a wild animal kind of does that to you. Or near murdered. Lisk didn't actually die, to be fair. Progress on our little compound definitely coming together, though. Alright, I'm going to turn off the electric smelter. I don't think we need... And I'll put hidden conduits here to be able to flick things off remotely. I don't think we really need to be doing any more smelting, to be honest. We have, we don't actually have a lot of steel, but we have a lot of steel to be hauled. In fact, maybe I go ahead and cancel here, because we've been mining the hell out of that, and we don't need more. Alright, we got a mad buck on our hands. He's likely just going to go through the deadfall traps. Although our compound doesn't have a complete wall around it. So maybe what I'll do is I'll intervene manually. Is that bit behind the temp stockpile a bug risk? No. There's no overhead mountain anywhere around here. There is overhead mountain up here, I'm assuming. Yep, there's one little nugget overhead mountain where the steel will be. But not much of a risk in itself. We are down to 0 meat, so let's hunt the easy things to hunt. Cue that up. And the workshops that I had initially queued up are just about done. So this is going to be another... I don't know what exact workshop that's going to be, but this is going to be fabrication. This could be something else. I don't know. The other thing is I don't yet have a machining table. I think what I'll do is move the forge or the smithy in here. Put the machining table with the smelter because they both break down slag and mech corpses and they use roughly the same materials. And then maybe the art bench with the stone cutter once I have an art bench. Like, I don't need one right now, but eventually. So let's drop the machining table in here. Because we have the ability to make prosthetics, you know, we ought to make some. You guys are almost broken even about what you want next, stockpiles and bedrooms. So if you haven't voted yet, please feel free to do so, because it's close, and I'd like someone to tie break. So, machining table, we are going to make a prosthetic leg. Prosthetic legs require crafting 5. I see. Our best crafter is a 4. Stochastic could take a break from research to practice crafting. I'll have a follow-up poll about that. Okay, that wolf might need to be dealt with sooner than later. Oh, no, it was a cougar going after a wolf. Wow, that was not the fight I was expecting it to be. The cougar won without a scratch. Sorry, Cougs. But after the lynx murdered me, I just don't want large critters that can eat me around anymore. Understandably, I think. And it looks like Team Stockpile has pulled out ahead. So next, after these workshops are done, which functionally I think they just about are, minus like maybe a light, I will build a stockpile. Build a stockroom. Yeah, preemptively killing predators is always good practice. I think I'm going to lay off on the whole, like, killing animals now, because we have a lot of other tasks to work on. So, the dimensions of the stockroom are going to be slightly different than the plan. I'm going to delete the plan. And I'm going to have doors. So this airlock door is a little weird, but I'm going to have doors kind of like everywhere to accommodate defenses. So that it is like an inner compound, and we can turtle if we need to, in case of like wild animals or whatever. I don't have a place for bedrooms yet, but like that's a problem for future me. Current me just needs to build a stockroom. So, stockroom, we'll do slate tile again. Or actually, you know what? Let's do concrete. Let's keep it cheaper. These rooms we spend some time in, so having them be really ugly is a bit of a mood hit. But, the stockroom we shouldn't be, like, spending time in, so it doesn't really matter if it's uggles or not. How do you tell which bench goes in what room? So, if you look at the rooms here, the optimal room for pretty much all crafting is workshop. It's in the info tab. So, I could have built one mega workshop, but I chose to break them up. Things that would go in the laboratory, for instance, would be if we research drug production. For instance, a drug lab is a laboratory, right? So, it will tell you exactly where it belongs. So like if I do fabrication, for instance, it's also just a generic workshop, so on and so forth. There isn't, unlike games like Going Medieval or Oxygen Not Included, where it has like a list of the rooms, optimal rooms, there isn't like a optimal room list, which I feel like RimWorld should probably have in the UI somewhere now that there's an optimal room. So you've got stoves wanting to only be in the kitchen. So if you have a stove in shared space, you know, it comes with a penalty, for instance. And I think in order to fight filth, I am just gonna steel tile up everything around there. Because that's gonna be the easiest way to keep filth low. Alright. You guys are busy. Oh, cargo pods. Of heal root. Oh, nice. Or of herbal medicine. That's definitely to be used. Because we have sown 2 of the 81 heal root we wanted. One could argue I'm a little behind on that. So, having a source of it kind of nice. Luckily, flooring this area is going to be really easy. And I think I have enough materials. Ooh, here we go. What the hell name is that? The Jack Run ship? So they're obviously impids. Any of them craft? No, literally not a single one of them craft. So there's 5 enemies. I kind of wish the info tab here told you how many there are. Like, just counted for you. That'd be nice. They are mostly melee except for one with a bow. So, it's going to be in my advantage to fire on them as they approach. Now, keep in mind, of course, that they breathe fire. So we're going to want to retreat back into our base quickly. The problem is that, oh, they're prepare a while. I'm going to see if we can't make an airtight base before they arrive. So, because they're prepare a while, I want everybody to stay away from them. This is a temporary zone. Just so that we don't walk into them and get messed up. And then Rayvac is going to try to build the walls that I have queued up. So that we airtight this section, and it will be a little bit easier to defend. Because then we can drive them more easily into the deadfall traps. Or the spike traps. Man, I can never not call them deadfall traps. Trying to get the walls up in time, and that's why I forbid everything else. Oh, they're beginning their assault. All right, let's see. I'm gonna change tactics here and try to meet them here, shoot at them, fall back into the farm, and force them in fighting there. Let's get rid of the temporary zoning. I don't need it anymore. The shelter zone is fine, and I'm going to put steel boot in the shelter, which is the freezer, to pull them out once the fighting is over. Now, impids are also really fast on their feet. Lisk is in particular danger because of having only one leg. Oh, where are you going? You are... Oh, because I left my doors open. Yep. They're lighting things on fire. Typical impids. But some of them are just voluntarily going through the deadfall traps. Because I think that's where Dopey was. Which makes this fight really easy because they've essentially committed suicide. Alright, we have got Hoyth. Are you any good? Too smart, trigger happy, and a shooter. You are good at plants. You're missing a toe. Should we capture the impid? I don't have a prison yet, but I could probably throw one together pretty quickly. So I'll leave that up to you. Subsequently, let's make sure we unforbid all of the construction projects. And then... figure out where we're going to house said prisoner. And it looks like you guys do want the impid to join. Got it. Temporarily, what I'll do is put them up in here. So, Lisk. Move that stuff. Best dock would be Sutashtig. Comes in 10s without medicine. And then this will be the temporary prison. So, do I have a bed that I can install? I have bed rolls, but I'll do a proper bed. So we'll do a wooden bed, a stool, and a table. Dog still in the freezer? Yep. And not anymore. Rivak, you need to go build this before he regains consciousness, and we'll have our first prisoner. And there are new mechanics involving dealing with prisoners, so it's one of the things I wanted to touch upon in this series to demo how you can handle prisoners. Okay, his immediate wounds are tended to, so we'll go carry him to the prison. I will corpse dump. So, Dopey, you're a bit of a creep, right? Let's have you haul corpses. And it's a mediocre prison cell. It's actually a nicer room accommodation than we even have for ourselves. So, like, could be worse. And I also picked Dopey because he has a go frenzy, so he's just going to be able to do it a lot faster. Hey, hold on. We don't have a lot of that. Inspire trade. So, for prisoners, you can now clothe them. You can dress them. In this case, Hoyth here has not tattered clothing, so I don't really actually need to deal with that. The cloth veil. So the other thing we could do is we could make slave clothing in order to repress the prisoner. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to use plain leather for the body strap. And plain leather for the collar. And now we have an airtight base. This is all indoors. The walls got built. That should be pretty handy. So the intention here is to probably... Well, alright. So what to do with the prisoner? Recruit or enslave. Either one works for me. You guys can choose. But either way, we'll reduce resistance for now. In case it is recruit. Enslave obviously has a different mechanic. So resistance is recruit and will is enslave. Trigger happy with a shooting passion, and also the fact that they're an impid, so they run fast. Would be a nice addition, but it's not to say that that's what you have to choose. Oh. We got an impid, so you were like, oh, I'll start fires. Well, if only I could breathe fire like the Impet could. Well, thanks for setting everything on fire, Dopey. You're just 10/10 the best. Time to put out a whole bunch of fires. She's helping with brush clearing? Yeah, if you say so. And Ambrosia Sprout. I don't believe... Oh, this is really close. I don't believe this is the first sprout that we have. I think we've already gotten sprouts before. But I'll paint this in. Yeah, Ambrosia 1's already taken. So Ambrosia 2. Ambrosia 1 was over... It's too bad I can't find, like, grow zones. Over here. It's taking away the prisoner. That's a pretty bad scratch scar. But apart from that, not too bad. Now let's strip the prisoner down. Well, you know, actually, do we even need to strip the prisoner? Not really. Assignments. I forget actually how to clothe prisoners. I'll tinker with that in just a moment. And our project for the Stockroom is coming along. And you guys obviously want me to recruit her. Got it. Right click on apparel. Oh, right. Yeah, I got you. Forced to wear plain body strap normal on you. And then forced to wear on you. Once they're freed, you know, I'll clear that force. Once they join. So Dopey's still stone cutting, but stone cutting probably the wrong stone. How are you? Oh, you went to... Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cancel the designations for hauling, so the Dopey starts hauling the steel, because I don't really need to be hauling slate anymore, at least not yet. We'll probably have slate shelves. For the stockroom, we're gonna wait until we have the floor for the stockroom. Additionally, this airlock is really not needed anymore, as this is part of the base. So we'll get rid of this airlock. It's not, yeah, we don't need it. Rhino self-tamed. Dude. What? Do we keep the rhino or not? Do we want to try for an attack rhino? Now, here's the thing. Our animal handling sucks. We don't have anyone that can remotely animal handle. So more than likely this rhino will go wild, if that informs your decision, because the rhino's wildness is rather high, and it will lose its tameness. And I don't think... what is the animal handling skill here? You have an animal handling of 9? Yeah, we literally can't animal handle the rhino. It's gonna go... You know what? Never mind. Forget the poll. I should have thought of that beforehand. There is no way this rhino doesn't just, like, go wild, so I'm just gonna do that. If you don't have the animal handling skill to keep their tameness tame, they just end up going wild, so that was a non-starter. There was no way that was ever gonna work. So I think what I want is the comms console in here, in this little nook. And then I'll set up the beacons. I do want a bait beacon. So, I will put a bait beacon here. And I'll explain the concept of a bait beacon. So in RimWorld, when you get attacked by a raid, there are different types of pod attacks. And one is that they target a person that is not under an overhead mountain, and they land on that person. One is that they target your oldest installed trade beacon. And then the third is that they scatter all over the place. So a bait beacon will bait their attacks to that spot. But it also means that when we do an orbital trade, my trade goods will go here too. So it's a double-edged sword, but I'd rather not have... So if you play RimWorld and you have raiders consistently drop pod into your stockroom, that's because you don't have a bait beacon. God, this is a nasty bedroom. Hoyt here in his mediocre prison cell, he's like, oh, this is nice. He's gonna join and be like, wait, what the hell, you live like this? It's like, yeah, man, we do. Can you control which pod raid type is it? No, you cannot. You can influence it a little bit. So for instance, if you completely live under Overhead Mountain, it can't target your people. And therefore a pod drop raid type where it lands on your people is literally not possible. But you don't choose, I mean, that's like, hey, can you choose breachers or sappers? No, the enemies choose that. You don't choose that. That's not up to you. Right? If it was up to you, raids would not be dangerous. We'll keep the rhino leather. I'll sell the other stuff. I am looking to like pad our bank account with silver so that I can do fun things with it. And let's buy a book. Buy a whole bunch of books. And I'm going to sell the meat, and we'll just go hunting again for more meat. So, dismiss, and wildlife. Hunt. All these books will help with the research speed. Assignments. The miner assignment, so I have 2 mining books, which is convenient. So I don't really need to rework the assignments. I literally have 2 books on mining. Just by chance. But I wanted to line this because as I line this, the research speed factor goes up by 1% per book. So of all of our books, if you're wondering, we've got an excavation book, another excavation book, a personal shielding book, a death rust book, and a recreation book. And the recreation book is a new rec type for everyone. So that one was the most important to buy, I think. Pen not enclosed. I don't care. I'm going to uninstall the pen marker. I don't really need alerts about that. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Unstable 1.6, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow RimWorlders.